In the early summer of 1940, Paris stood as it always had, a beacon of art, culture, and life. The Eiffel Tower reached for a peaceful sky, its elegant silhouette a symbol of an unshakable spirit. But peace was a fragile illusion. Suddenly, the sky darkens. The bone-chilling shriek of air raid sirens rips through the calm, a sound that would soon become the city's heartbeat. In June 1940, one of the greatest cities on earth would fall, not with a final, glorious battle, but with fear, chaos, and a deafening silence. The streets, once filled with laughter and music, now turn into corridors of dread as people look up, their faces pale with the realization that war has come to their doorstep. After the Great War, France had wrapped itself in a blanket of security. The Maginot Line, a colossal chain of fortifications, was meant to be an impenetrable shield. France trusted in its powerful allies and its proud, strong army. The nation believed it was safe, that the horrors of the last war had taught the world a lesson. But on the other side of the border, Germany had not been idle. It had been reborn, armed with a terrifying new doctrine. Fast, powerful tanks, overwhelming air power, and a strategy designed for pure, paralyzing shock. This new way of war had a name that would echo through history. It was a storm of speed, shock, and destruction, and it was about to be unleashed upon an unsuspecting Europe. In May 1940, the storm broke. German forces didn't challenge the Maginot Line head-on, they simply went around it. Armored divisions stormed through the dense Ardennes forest in Belgium, a route the French High Command had dismissed as impassable for tanks. The Blitzkrieg was a torrent of steel and fire. French and British defenses, designed for the static warfare of the past, crumbled with unimaginable speed. The Allied lines were pierced, shattered, and enveloped. Soldiers who had been preparing for a long, grinding conflict found themselves overwhelmed, outmaneuvered, and in full retreat. The news from the front was a cascade of disasters. Entire divisions vanished, communication lines were cut, and the seemingly invincible French army began to disintegrate faster than anyone had dared to imagine. Bombers rained fire from the sky, turning serene landscapes into infernos of smoke and chaos. The German war machine was not just advancing, it was consuming everything in its path. As the German vanguard pushed deeper into France, a wave of pure terror washed over Paris. The city that had once seemed so far from the fighting was now directly in the path of the invasion. Panic, a contagion more potent than any weapon, consumed its people. A mass exodus began. Millions fled the capital, hoping to escape the coming darkness. The roads leading south became rivers of human despair, clogged with cars, carts, bicycles, and endless columns of people on foot. Families were torn apart in the chaos. Crying children clung to their parents, their small worlds shattered. People carried whatever they could: a suitcase, a bundle of clothes, a memory. From the hills surrounding Paris, they could see the horizon glow with the fires of distant towns. The city of light was being choked by dust and smoke, its vibrant colors muted by a film of grime and fear. Faced with the imminent arrival of the German army and the specter of total annihilation, the French government made a heartbreaking choice: to save the ancient stones, the priceless art, and the very soul of Paris from the ravages of street-to-street fighting. They would not defend it. Paris was declared an open city. The decision was a profound act of surrender, a move to prevent its physical destruction at the cost of its freedom. The declaration hung in the air like a death sentence. There would be no barricades, no final stand, no heroic defense. The soldiers who were supposed to protect their capital began to withdraw, leaving behind silent bridges, abandoned cafes, and empty streets. A strange, eerie quiet fell over Paris, the silence of a city holding its breath, waiting for the inevitable. On the morning of June 14, 1914, the inevitable arrived. The first German troops marched into Paris. There were no explosions, no gunfire, no sounds of battle, only the rhythmic, chilling echo of thousands of boots striking the cobblestones of the deserted city. They marched down the Champs-Élysées, past the Arc de Triomphe, a monument to past French victories, now a witness to their defeat. Swastika flags were hoisted over historic buildings, stark symbols of a new and brutal reality. German soldiers stood beneath the Eiffel Tower, posing for photographs in a city that was not conquered by force, but taken in silence. From behind shuttered windows, the few remaining Parisians watched the grim procession. The air was cold, the sky was gray. This was not the Paris they knew. This was a city captured, a jewel in a conqueror's crown, its vibrant heart now beating to the rhythm of an occupying army. Paris survived, but it was no longer free. The occupation began, and with it came for long years of hardship and humiliation. Life became a daily struggle for survival. Food was scarce, and long lines for a simple loaf of bread became a common sight. A curfew emptied the streets at night. Fear became a constant companion, an unseen presence in every conversation. On every corner, German patrols were a daily reminder of who was in control. But in the shadows of this oppressed city, something else began to grow. Small acts of defiance started to spark. Whispered messages, secret meetings, a hidden newspaper. The spirit of resistance, though battered and bruised, was not broken. It began to organize, to fight back in the darkness, planting the seeds of hope for a future liberation. The fall of Paris in 1940 was more than a military defeat. It was a wound to the conscience of the free world. It was a symbol of how quickly liberty could be extinguished. But it was not the end of the story. The city endured, its spirit held captive but unbroken. 4 years later, that spirit would rise again, fueled by the courage of those who never gave up hope. In August 1944, the sounds of battle finally returned to Paris, but this time, they were the sounds of liberation. Sunlight seemed to break through the clouds as French and Allied forces fought to reclaim their capital. French flags, hidden for years, reappeared on balconies. The cheers of a freed people replaced the silence of occupation. The sun rises again over the Eiffel Tower, bathing the city in a soft, hopeful light. The dark days of occupation are a scar on its history, a memory that must never be forgotten. But the story of Paris is one of resilience. It is a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of tyranny. Paris fell, but its spirit never did. Thanks for watching. If you found this story moving, please like this video and subscribe for more chapters from history.